Good evening, all. How you guys doing?
How close is the mic to your face, Zeke?
A lot closer now. How's that?
I
Can
might be deaf or because I'm turning my volume down instead of up. Okay, it was me. I was the problem this time. Shocker. How's everybody doing?
Man, we're gonna have an exciting night. I was I was gonna do two different sizes of spheres, and then I just realized that it's the same set of cups that I do for both of them. So I was like, yeah, we'll just do some 2-inch ones, and maybe if we come back, we'll do some 2.5. But we're gonna be running the core drills tonight, and as you can see, the pile on the floor here is set up so that we can. I grabbed way too much rock to actually core tonight, but I grabbed some stuff for us to play with, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have some fun with this. So let's see what we got here to get started, and we're gonna have to plaster some of these pieces, but I want to start drilling. I'll have Jordan plaster while I drill. Oh, I am sweating. I've been running around digging through bins of rock, moving stuff, having a grand old time. All right, we got some fun stuff. We keep talking about doing some Vesuvianite. So a nice block of Vesuvianite, a little bit more fractured over in this area, although I don't think those go very deep, just surface level right there. That fracture looks like it goes through. On this one, we'll line up over here and drill on that side of that fracture. And what's nice about this piece right here is it doesn't need to be plastered. Because of its nice shape already, it can just go right in the core drill. Something like this. And most of the, by the way, almost all the pieces here, I think the only piece here that we haven't shown on the live event is that big chunk of river jasper. I think everything else here we've offered on the live event and didn't sell. So I was like, oh, we're going to drill those pieces. Like this is a great looking piece of the blue chalcedony. This is one though that because of how small it is and its shape, we'll have to plaster it. And what we'll do is we'll set it up so that we can come right down on this flat face. There's no vise in the core drill to hold the rock. And so, because we want to get as close to the outside as possible usually. So on one like this, we're just going to take it and plaster it so we can drill down through that. So I'll stick that over on the paper. This is another one that very easy to drill this piece. This one we're gonna line up about right there. Just put it face down in the core drill. That'll be a really easy one to drill. I'll stick that pile there. Yeah, that was bonewood. This is a nice big block, and really we probably should cut a big sphere out of this, but we're doing 2-inch tonight, so we're gonna cut that, and it'll actually be thick enough that we can get 2 spheres out of 1 core. So that one, the best area right there is that spot, although this whole piece looks pretty good. But we don't need to drill that one. We can just stick that. Same with this bumblebee. This awesome looking piece of bumblebee, but perfect shape. You can just stick that right in the drill and do it. One like this island agate here. You can see it's not got a lot of flat faces on it. If you were really careful, you might be able to drill it right here. Set it face down, but it's going to take a lot longer. And you're better off just plastering it, and then we can drill this middle right here. Yeah, I've done spheres out of Tortella before. That's a pretty easy one to do, especially usually because they're nice and flat seams. So that's one we'll stick over and to the drill pile or the plaster pile. This one right here is such an awesome piece of Rosetta. Really good chunk right here. I was really surprised no one had grabbed this one originally. But again, not a convenient shape. So we'll drill this one right here, but we're going to put it in plaster so it has a nice stable base and doesn't rock. This one is a little bit tricky. We showed this piece, and I understand why no one grabbed it because visually it's not super exciting just looking at the piece, but I'm very confident that this is going to be a nice piece of Cherry Creek. So we'll take this one and drill it and see how stable it is. This one's a little wobbly. I might throw a little bit of plaster under that one.
So let me ask you a question real quick. Can you pull that piece back to the camera real quick before you set it down? With a flat
Yeah.
piece like that, are you just gonna plaster a flat little like bottom to it?
So what we'll do is we'll take a glob of plaster and I'll go on the paper, and then I'll press this down and make it level so that when I stick this in the core drill, I'm cutting right against this flat face. And this one I could get away with drilling without plastering it, but since we're already going to plaster this piece, the other pieces, I'm going to throw a little bit under this one so it doesn't rock at all.
We're
But
gonna do
you could get away with not plastering that one.
we're gonna show you guys how we do the plastering tonight.
Yeah, I'm just sorting them out right now so you guys can kind of see the logic of how I'm picking here. And then we'll go over and start cutting.
Oh, Ed, you're funny. Oh, I love this piece. This one someone should have grabbed. This was on a tote night that no one grabbed this.
Yeah, that was a cool piece. That one is really stable if I put it this side down and it's fairly flat. So this one we're not gonna plaster. Let's see. Some of these I think we're gonna hold off on drilling on the moment and do with a little bit bigger of a bit, like those piece. This one right here though, this is what I was super excited about. This is a piece of the Turkish stick agate, and this is a really weird one because it has round orbs in it. This one is big and flat, so there's plenty of weight to it, so we could actually take several out of this one, but we'll just do one ball right here. That one doesn't need any plaster. Those ones I want to drill with bigger bits. Same with this one. This is a piece of the palm root that is just a top shelf piece, but I want to drill this one with a bigger bit, so we'll save that one for later. Now this one is an interesting piece because you could cut a 4-inch ball out of it, but because of this line going down the middle, I don't know if it's going to separate. It has a line there that of quartz where it likes to separate, but you can see it's a killer piece right there. So this one, instead of drilling a big sphere, I'm going to drill it for two 2-inch spheres. So that way, if it separates, it's no problem. We still get two nice balls out of it. And that one is nice and flat. Yeah, that one's plenty hard. Stick there. And then this chunk of rubies say if this was really like set up and we were like really sphering, making nice spheres, I really would cut this with a like 3.5-inch bit and cut a nicer ball out of it. But because we're just gonna sell the drops off of it, we'll just take a 2-inch core out of it and then the rest will get sold later. Otherwise, I would advise that you cut this one for a bigger sphere because you could get probably a 3.5-inch core. That one will just stick on one of the flat faces and go to town. That'll be a really easy one to drill. All right, and those ones we want to save for a different time. Well, the reason I'm not doing a bunch of different sizes tonight is because that would take all night to just sit there and do every different size, change out the bits, the jigs, and the cups. And so when we do them, we generally do a batch of the same size at a time. But what I'm doing right now is I'm taking the pieces that that I said we needed to plaster, and I'm taking little bits of rock and propping them up so that they are a good shape to drill because we want them to sit level to our bit. We don't want them to be sitting at an angle because the more of an angle you try to do, the longer it takes to drill. And this is the part that everybody hates doing. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to plaster. I'm just going to do it. But if you plaster your pieces, it's so much easier to cut them. So I'm just taking little bits of rock and plaster and propping them up in the orientation that I want to cut them. All right, and those are sitting just fine like that. So the unfun part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a bucket and I'm going to throw a big handful of the plaster powder in there. And then I'm going to mix some water in with it. And what you're looking for is the consistency of like a frosty or yogurt.
Oh, well,
Dip it.
I'll always get the consistency right.
And you got to keep in mind that this stuff dries really fast. So you don't want to take too long to get your pieces done. That's why you set them up beforehand so you're not sitting there playing with it. while your plaster is drying. You know right where they're gonna be. Oh, of course, I just made a big mess with the plaster.
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you? I feel like I haven't seen you all in forever, even though it's only been since Monday. Ooh, fun.
So you can see this is the casting plaster that we're gonna use. And I'm gonna go hand mix this. This is the worst part about this. It's very, it like sucks the moisture out of your hand, and you don't want to put this stuff down the drain. You also don't want to use warm water unless you want it to dry really fast, because if you use warm water or add salt, it will dry faster. All right, so you can see there's the plaster right there. You can kind of get an idea of the consistency. So now what I'm going to do, take a big glob, lift up our piece, goop it down, and then set it back down. Oh, you want to make sure it stays in place, and you want to smear it up the sides of your rock a little bit. There we go. And this stuff just breaks off nice and easy when
Zachary, how
you're
long will this? Oops, sorry. Keep going.
we like to let the plaster sit for about an hour when we do it, but it's pretty dry within probably 20 minutes. When John's here, when he and I do this, he will have us plaster before lunch, and then we go to lunch, and when we get back, we do all the drilling.
I know Zeke's raw dogging it tonight.
This is just how we do the plaster. We always do it by hand like this. And the taller your piece is, the bigger of a base you need to give it. I need to smear a little bit up there. All right.
What kind of plaster is this, Zachary?
Casting plaster. All right, and then because we did this in a bucket, now I'm gonna go rinse off into the bucket, and then we can throw away that mud later.
I forget who. One of the people that used to work here asked me what kind of rock, because the casting plaster bit came off. They're like, "What is that?"
Uh, so Jaden the other day was scrubbing the casting plaster and
Oh
laying it out on
my.
the rack. He got it nice and clean.
I'm sure he did. I love him. How do we dispose of the plaster, Zeke? Do we just throw it in the trash?
Yep, we just let it dry out, and then we throw it in the trash, or you can scoop it into a bag and um throw it out, or you could let it sit in the bucket and break the hard plaster out of the bucket and then toss it. All right, while those dry, let's get some other pieces drilled.
One came in today, and we're due for another one soon.
All right, now you can see we're going to use the CD4, which is what most people like on the live events are going to buy for their garage, most hobbyists. The CD1 is what I usually use, but it's a much bigger drill. This will do like 1 inch marbles all the way up to 6 inch balls. So you plenty of space for most people, because 2 to 4 inch is going to be the most popular, and that's the jigs and bits that come with it is 2 to 4 inch. We have it plumbed. It's 2 inch NPT, comes right out the side here. You got a big pump for your main bit, a little pump for your outside sprayer, and then you have a pump that runs your Everclean, because this makes a lot of mud. So let's just turn on the Everclean now. We'll get that start recirculating. Now, one of the other things that you guys probably won't be able to see super well tonight is this depth gauge right here. When you're drilling, I'm going to open that up and let it come all the way down. We'll set that to 0, so that we know where the bottom of the deck is. We don't want to drill through the bottom of the drill here. And yes, you can do that.
Zekri.
See, this one's already set to pretty much 0, but you press the C and the F button at the same time, and it zeroes it out. Yes, Jordy.
Hold on, I'm writing that down. How much oil does that use?
I like to put up 15 gallons in it because that's about what the Everclean tank holds. All right, let's start with an easy one here. We'll put our piece of ruby zoisite in there. I'm going to bring the head down. This handle right here moves the head up and down. I'm going to see if I can zoom this out a little. There we go. You guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And then these valves up here are what allow it to go up and down. This moves the air over oil through the system. This is your slow drop. So you open that up, and that's what you would use while you're drilling. You can see how it's going down nice and slow and smooth. This handle right here, if I open that up, it drops it fast so that you can lower the head or bring it up while you're working. And by the way, we have a full-length YouTube video. If you're like, oh gosh, going fast. We have a full-length, it's actually 4 YouTube videos, but we're going to get it cut down to 1 on how to do all of this. All right. Now we're using a small bit, so we're going to be running a pretty high speed. We'll run this on about 38 hertz, which is the speed control for the side of the drill over here. You can see this control box right here. This little knob here is what controls the speed. So we got that already set on 38. I have no idea what the RPMs are. John has a chart that tells you what the difference is. And you can change the controls in this to show you RPMs, but I learned in hertz, so that's how I teach it. I'm gonna raise this up a little bit and then aim it down for you guys.
You want a flashlight? So you're done?
Oh, that would be good. Then you want to make sure your rock's not touching. Turn your pump on. Turn your bit on. And then you're going to bring it down until it gently touches the rock. You don't want to jam the rock in it. Because if you let it slam, you're going to break the teeth off your bit.
This machine is so cool.
And then once it's touching, you can speed it up a good amount. It's also recommended, like if this rock didn't have a flat surface, I'd be using a wooden dowel or a screwdriver to hold the rock in place so that it didn't move when the bit started. All right, making contact. So we'll let that bit get started, and then I'll crank this up a little bit. If you go too fast while you're starting, what will happen is you'll spin the rock. And you should never have your hands down there by the drill while this is drilling. I've already heard of one case where somebody ripped a finger off. It's a very strong drill. So let's see, what time is it, Jordan?
It is 7:27.
All right, let's see how long we can get this core in. And this is the equivalent, well, the cut we're doing right now is the equivalent of 8 cuts in a saw.
Thank you, Lizelle. Lizelle, are you timing this? Question mark. Okay, thank you.
Well, see, I got too excited. And I put too much force on the bit.
Yep, 2-inch. Will it auto shut off when it reaches the bottom?
Yes. Well, no, it'll auto shut off if you put too much force on it.
But you have to
The
watch it
bigger,
the
yeah, you can't. This is not a machine to just walk away from. I forget that the CD4 is a little bit smaller of a machine than the CD1, which is what I am used to using now. And that machine I really crank on.
Did John invent this machine?
John designed this whole thing from scratch. He built the first one out of scrap parts in his garage.
So what happened with that machine stopping was Zeke got too excited, and were you running the machine too fast? Is that why?
So there's two things that you have to learn when you're running this. The speed of the bit and how much pressure you're pushing down with. I was pushing with way too much pressure, and so the bit could not keep up. What John teaches people when you're doing this is it should sound like sizzling bacon when you're cutting.
No, this doesn't auto shut off.
Yeah, there's no auto shut up for this. If you let it, it will drill through the bottom of your deck. And yes, it does have a depth gauge that you set to 0 before you start drilling right here. So you can see we're drilling in, that's 71 millimeters from the deck.
Well, he's using oil right now, Jason.
And that is the flashlight saying it's about to die.
Oh, boo. You don't have another?
I do.
Will John add the auto shut off feature or no?
Very unlikely.
We are
This is
cutting
really not a
rubies.
machine to walk away from, and having the ability to auto shut off would be really difficult on this machine.
We're cutting ruby zoisite right now. The nozzle spraying in from the right is the outside oil sprayer, right? For the outside of the rock.
Yeah, so there's oil coming down through the middle of the bit, and then this spraying on the outside.
They can't
That
see that.
outside sprayer, the outside sprayer is a lot more important when you're using the jigs. And then before we get to the bottom, we'll stop the drill. When we get to 5 millimeters ish, or when you start to hear it, the sound change, we'll shut it off.
How hard is the ruby zoisite?
Well, rubies are a 9 on the Mohs hardness scale. The zoisite is probably a 4 or a 5.
So the outside spray is to keep the rock cool? Question mark.
Yeah, it helps keep the rock and the bit cool.
And then can you put, oops, I lost it. Can you put a stop on one of the sides that would stop the lowering? Question mark.
Well, theoretically, you could.
And then what kind of experience have you or others had in going out and surface collecting material to use for spheres? Are surface collected material too fractured?
I've cut hundreds of spheres where I collected the rough and then brought it back to the shop and cut it. Not out in New England, but out west I have.
Hey, there's starlight out here. Does the Everclean tank and pumps come included?
No, the only thing that comes included are a set of jigs and bits for the 2 to 4 inch range. So you'll want, when you buy this, you'll want to buy the Everclean tank and the Everclean. The pumps are included that you need, but you want to get the Everclean tank and the Everclean. And then you want to also have a way when you buy this particular machine, you want to have a way or the ability to hire somebody to lift it up because it ships without the base on it, and you got to lift it up and put the base on it.
Then Zekery, at 5 millimeter or so, you can remove the rock and hit the core and pop it out from the bottom, question mark.
Yep, we're gonna show that. I actually use a screwdriver.
And then how often do you have to clean the Everclean pump?
The pump, if you run your Everclean, pretty much never. So we're about 5 millimeters there. So I press the e-stop button, and you can see how fast that comes to a stop, which is important so you don't break your bit. And we'll lift this up, shut off the pump. Usually the only time you have to clean out your pump is because somebody's been running it and without the Everclean and it's gotten all full of crap and they don't want to clean it. And so they try to let the Everclean run and that clogs it up. But like these two drills here, I've never had to clean out the pump. All right, so I'm gonna go grab a screwdriver. Well, by the way, Lizelle, how long did that take? Including me
That was 8 minutes or
stopping
seven.
the drill.
Yeah, 7 minutes, 54 seconds. Where does all the grit from the drill go? Question mark.
Into the Everclean tank. Or are there anything that you got to clean out of here? Like you get little bits in here that you got to clean out. All right, and then these pieces, well, the chunks, I'm gonna stick off to the side into the thing. The cores I'll leave in here because we're gonna drill them in the other drill. Actually, we can probably start that because I got the jig set up already in the other drill.
Oh, that's all right, Rick. That's what they keep me around for, is to clean that kind of stuff up. And then, so you have to clean the tank sometimes then, question mark.
Not if you do a good job cleaning out your Everclean.
And
Like
then,
if you keep the Everclean cans running, I've cut probably a couple hundred cores here, and we've never cleaned out the tanks.
the shipping weight of this machine that Zeke's working on is 1,340 pounds. And then Zekery, does the e-stop also stop vertical movement, or do you have to close that as well?
You have to close that. The e-stop only stops the bit speed. Move you guys in the middle more so my arm's not in your way.
Zeke, Lizelle sent me a deal on this machine, or do you want to offer anyone's like you've been doing with the saws, or
Lizelle can offer a deal, and then I'll offer something exclusive.
Lizelle, you want to hit it in the chat? I do love these Cut&Chats too. Ooh, I'm excited for this one. I can do it. Oh my. So tonight, Lizelle is being very kind and offering you guys 7% off on the core drills. So that's the CD4 or the CD1. The height of this, Zeke, the height of this machine, 7 feet.
Yeah, it's about 7 feet. It'll fit in just about any standard garage. Well, this one, I can see the rock starting to spin, which is very not good. That is how you break bits. So what I'm going to do is grab a stick or a screwdriver, and I'm just going to hold that in place so that it doesn't spin out and break the bit.
I have no idea. That's what Zeke and I were talking about. Possibly.
Hey, you guys ready for the deal that I'm gonna offer on this?
Oh my, Michael. I don't know that I could. You'd have to make a lot more pieces for her. Oh, I don't want Zeke to sell this core. I want this sphere when it's finished on my desk on a light stand. Oh, Zeke, no one's ready for your deal. They don't want it.
Eh.
No one wanted to even hear Zeke out. They were just too floored by Lazelle's. Oh, well, Lazelle says spill it. The voice
Oh,
from the
so
heavens. The
I
voice
love
from the
Lizelle.
heavens. Go ahead.
That's so funny. All right, so instead of a percentage off, if you buy the what I would call the Sphere Dream Shop, that's going to be either core drill, the high speed and the low speed sphere machine, all the cups to go with that size range, and any other accessories like the Everclean tank, the Everclean. You get the whole Sphere Dream Shop at retail price. I will either have Sherman pay to fly you here to the warehouse and teach you how to run it all, or after you get the machine set up, I will fly to you and help you set it up in the United States. But that's not a discount off the machine. You got to get all of that at retail price. The discount there is that you're going to get hands on like a day or two with me, either here at the warehouse or at your home. We're actually running the machines. I mean, I'm not going to put them in my suitcase, but we might be able to ship you a piece.
Oh, Ed, you're funny. Hi,
So,
Leslie.
and just to give you an idea, you're looking somewhere. I haven't done the math on it in a long time, but you'd be looking somewhere between 20 and 30,000 for every that whole setup.
That is true. Only at Highland Park they would do that.
And Sherman doesn't know yet that I volunteered his bank account for the airfare. I love Lazelle's laugh. That was so great.
How should I rig my CD4 for an overhead hoist lift?
So I will give no advice on how you should rig your CD4. If it is not something that you are comfortable doing, because I cannot suggest how to do it after Sherman saw how I set mine up. What I would suggest is paying somebody to a rigger that sets up machines like this to come set it up for you. Because this is a decently heavy machine, but you can find people, riggers that will come lift it up, put the base on it, and move it into place for you.
Yes, Jason. And that's what I was saying. I was like, what am I, chopped liver? Sergeant Sassy reporting for duty. You're welcome.
Oh, I also should caveat that when I said the 20 to 30 range, that was with the CD4. The CD1 is a good chunk more, so just keep that in mind.
Mistress Mayhem. I love it. Jox is going to take that refurbished 14-inch slab saw from last night. How much oil does it take? And no, Jox, it doesn't take an Everclean.
5 gallons will be more than enough for you. I think it takes about 2.5. This is a pretty solid material, and we got a flat base. So I let us go a little bit longer on the depth there.
This is Vesuvianite from Indonesia. Thank you, Lizelle.
Oh man, that's gonna be a great sphere.
Oh, I want that on my desk now. That's wicked cool.
Okay, Sergeant Sassy.
Zachary. Does John have any upgrades for either machine?
What do you mean?
Rick was just asking. For which machine, Rick? The core drills or?
Let's do this one next. I'm glad I'm doing this with the
Motor.
CD4 because I definitely would drill these faster with the CD1.
Zeke, Brad is asking if you saw the message he sent last night about the Laguna.
I
Lizelle,
did
can
not.
you grab that for Jox, please? That last request. When is the stainless steel version coming out? Thanks, Lizelle.
Of the core drill?
Yes.
I don't think John is doing a stainless steel core drill.
New motors, electronics on the sphere machines.
Oh, eventually he will do a variable speed version of the high speed sphere machine, but fortunately he will make that retrofit. He does not have a time frame yet on when he's going to have that done. But if you're thinking about a sphere machine, you can always trust that John will always make it reverse compatible.
Zeke, can you explain that orange peel thing with the Vesuvianite and why that core took a little longer?
So the orange peel is the texture, like the texture of an orange peel on the surface of the stone. And if you get it too hot, you'll cause that texturing. If you do it right, you'll end up with a perfect glossy surface. But if you go too fast and get it too hot, then you'll make your piece have this kind of like the texture of the skin of an orange. But that's where it gets the name orange peel.
That's all right, Jox. Don't worry about it.
Turning up our speed a little bit since this is a soft material or softer material. How long did that last core take?
It took, Lizelle put it in the chat, or 8 minutes, 14 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is too long
Man,
for
Holly,
what I would normally drill.
I'm looking at that mock that you just posted in the group. That's killer.
The CD4 definitely because it's a smaller motor and it's a little bit smaller of a machine than the CD1. It definitely cuts a little bit slower because I've gotten accustomed to the CD1 and you can definitely push it harder.
170 pounds, Jocks. It'll ship via UPS.
And what's nice about this chunk right here is out of this one core, with this piece, we could actually get like 8 2-inch cores out of, or 2-inch balls out of. One of the things you notice is I did not put the stone right off the edge over on this side because it tapers down and I didn't want it to be a whole core all the way down. It's
220.
220. Both drills are.
I would too. That's a killer agate. CD4 220 volt 20 amp service? Question mark.
No, you can get away with well, yeah, I'd put it on a 20 amp. I think you could get away with a 15 amp, but I'm thinking back to when I did my garage and I went with a 20 amp. What's cool is it's actually a 3-phase machine run down through a computer in so it's single phase for home use. So it's actually a very efficient motor on this thing. It doesn't use near as much electricity as I expected it to when I first got mine.
Oh, Jeff, I'll look at that after with Zekery. Thank you for reminding me.
You can see it got so close to the edge there that it's starting to cut through the side wall, which is perfect. That means we lined it up perfectly to not waste any material off that side.
That's cool, Jeff.
I also, because the rock gets thinner and thinner, I tend to slow it down the closer I get to the bottom. Because like right now I'm cutting pretty darn fast, and like I'll just slow it up a little bit so that it doesn't put too much pressure and break the rock out. Because you can
Zekery,
hit a fracture.
can you
Can I
zoom in
what?
on can you zoom in on the piece a little bit?
I cannot, but you can come over here and zoom in. My
Oh
hands are
yeah,
all oily.
that's right. Forgot that this machine is not clean. Boo.
Well, nothing's clean when you're Jordan.
No, nothing's clean when you're Zekery. Nothing's clean enough when you're Jordan. How's that?
And if you get the spear machine and the core drill, you definitely want to learn how to solder because you will break bits
That's true, Jeff.
and sphere cups. It is just something that you should plan on having to do when you get one of these machines.
I love watching the old spool down into the hole.
It is fun.
That's gonna be so much fun, Shane. I'm wicked excited for you. And then,
Oh, that is an
ooh,
epic piece.
Brian is gonna freak.
Oh, you got the really nice black in there with really good pink in this one. And that one, I thought maybe we'd get three out of it, but what you'll get is two spheres out of this one and a little bit in the middle for cabbing.
Mind you, this is material we show on the live events. Like, that's a killer
Oh
piece.
no, this is a piece we showed on the live event. This is one we
This
offered.
this is pink crinoid. Let me see. Are there people who offer services? Are there service companies that'll core rocks for you?
There are. Um, in fact, a few of our customers will do that. I'm curious, is there anybody on tonight that has a core drill?
Ooh, I'm also excited for this one. Thank you, Lizelle. That last core Zeke took 8 minutes and 13 seconds.
So what's crazy about that is if you guys look at these two pieces, so this core took longer than this core, and we'll get two balls out of that one. So you see your hardness of material definitely changes how fast you go through that. That one we actually, we're not gonna get two out of that one.
Do you prefer working with softer materials when you're coring rock?
Well, that's the beauty of the core drill. It don't care how hard it is. It'll still cut just fine. It's just going to be a matter of how fast you can work through your piece. So, like me personally, I don't mind how hard it is. Like I do Jade, Vesuvianite's pretty hard. Then I'll switch to Bumblebee. Like you can do it all, no problem.
And then how does that translate over to the sphere machine, Zeke?
Just adds a little bit of time to your grinding. That's about it. The sphere machines will handle that with no problem,
I
especially
also have
that high
a
speed machine.
question for actually in general. Um, for getting the polish, I was talking with a customer about this the other day. And I know in the cab machine, you don't want to use that much water when you're polishing it up. Is that the same kind of logic you're going to use on the sphere machine for those cups when you're getting
Oh,
your polish on it?
definitely. If you heard John on the other night, you could hear him give me crap about using too much water and flushing the piece. And because it does change the time, it takes longer if you flush the mud off. The mud actually helps you cut faster when you're doing your polishing. And it helps keep the cup sharp too, actually.
Do you guys have any questions so far? I know I'm taking a bunch of notes right now.
Oh, that's good because I'll be like, all right, Jordan, you watch the Cut&Chat, make a sphere.
I'm on my second page of notes.
Oh, wow, I like it. That'll be really helpful actually for when we're teaching. I love that Jordan does things like take notes.
I always have a notepad. Usually what happens is when I go home to take a shower and I take my claw clip out, usually I will have a pen fall out. So this piece, the reason there's no plaster on these pieces that Zeke's doing is because they fall into the category of being okay to drill the way they are because they're flat and not gonna rock. And if he finds that a piece is turning um as he's drilling, he's gonna put that wooden dowel in there to hold it in place.
Or in this case, the metal rod that I'm using. But yes, prefer like
Well,
if I was
yes.
setting up a core drill with somebody, I'd go to Home Depot and buy 2 foot of like 1 inch wooden dowel, and that's what I'd use.
Rocks that don't rock, exactly. You don't want them to wobble.
And if it rocks, it's no problem. You just throw a little plaster on it.
Do we offer an installment plan on 20-inch slab saws?
Lizelle, that would be a question for you to answer.
Thanks, girl. Do either of the core machines have built-in surge protection to protect the electronics, or do we need to install that at our service panel?
So inside the control box, where this piece right here, this is actually a really good question because I had this problem and I didn't know either. If you pop, there's a fuse in there, and if you pop it, there's actually an extra fuse inside this box already there for when you pop it. So you just take those four screws out, open it up. It's a little fuse you pull out, and there's one already in there, so you have a spare with the machine.
Thank you, Lizelle. Is there installments on the core drill, Lizelle, for that one? We do sell cores every once in a while, yes. It's fused and not a breaker reset, Zeke.
Yes, it's a fuse. It's one of the little like glass tube style fuses. Now, on this one, you guys could not hear it, but the reason I stopped the drill when I did is because I heard a pop sound of when the core came loose. And that's why that e-stop is so important, because if it didn't stop immediately, that's a high likelihood of breaking your bit.
Oh, that's pretty darn good. 4 minutes, 17 seconds on this. Oh, man, that's juicy.
That's juicy. All right, pull that piece out, and not tonight because he's got to be washed, and I might drill a couple more cores at him first, but we're gonna sell these pieces as well. I think we're okay. Now, one thing I forgot to do, and John would definitely give me a little grief about this, is I did not mark the stone, which is important because if you look, you can see the stone tapers in like this. And if I had not noticed that when I was looking at this piece, if you had cut here instead of over here, you would wind up with a two piece that was unusable for a sphere. So we got to make sure we hug this side over here. So when you're doing this, before you plaster, you should mark your stones. I've been doing this long enough that I forget to do that, but it's like marking the windows on an agate. It'll help you a lot if you do that. And you can see how nicely that sits in there with the plaster.
I think it's wood. That's wood, right, Zeke, that plate?
Yeah, in the bottom of this, there's a wood plate, which helps with when you can cut into that a little bit. And if you do that, it's not the end of the world. Whereas if you cut through the base of your machine, it's a bad day.
Do you have to reset the zero every time, Zeke, or no?
Nope, only once for this bit. All right, you can see the little metal dowel I'm using in this case, little metal rod, because that's what we have handy. And this is a really hard material, and it's a smaller piece with a smaller base. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful when I'm starting the piece here.
I'm so excited for this sphere. It's such an underrated material.
Yeah, this is gonna be a wicked good piece.
This is the Blue Cal Sydney from Turkey, and I have a pretty juicy piece over there that honestly I'm regretting not sending to be cored, but we'll give someone a chance at it, and if it doesn't scratch anybody's itch, then we'll core it.
Jordan is so excited to learn how to run the core drill.
I am. It is a bad ash machine. What's the hertz frequency on this drill, Zeke?
So it runs from 0 to 50. Right now we're running on 38.
Thank you, Susan.
And now that I'm sunk into the bit a little bit, or the rock a little bit, I'm going to turn the speed up to about 40. Because one thing that's really hard about doing these live events is that I'm listening to the sound of the drill. And like it started to make a squealing sound. And by turning the speed up and the pressure a little bit, it makes it smooth out and sound cleaner as it's cutting. And that's what you're looking for.
I did not get coasters yet. The only coasters that I have are the plastic ones from Target, but I think what I really, really want, but it's going to be impossible for me to get and I'll never get it, but I want rotochrosite coasters.
Oh,
I've been
God.
obsessed with rotochrosite stalactites lately. They're all over my Facebook.
Yeah, rotochrosite stalactite is a pretty pricey coaster.
Well, I'm
At
a
least she has
hardworking
standards.
and I'm a hardworking girl. I can get my rotochrosite coasters if I want. I'll bust my butt for those. I only have one rock decoration in my apartment currently.
That Labradorite.
Yeah. Guess where I put it?
In a drawer.
No, on the next to the sink so I can watch it and look at it while I'm doing dishes. And
Oh, that's nice.
right before I go to bed.
In a drawer.
In a
That's so
drawer?
funny.
No, it's on the counter.
Oh, it's hilarious.
But I
That's how
always
clean freak Jordan is that I was like, in a drawer.
no, it's on the I always wash the sink before I go to bed.
That's
So
so
I look at it
funny.
I'll look at it all the time. That is so true. I'm obsessed with coasters and candles.
So I'm curious how many people are considering taking me up on that dream shop deal.
I'll take someone. I'll pay for someone to get that deal so I can get Zeke out of the warehouse for a couple days.
Hilarious.
I'm just kidding. Oh no, I don't like the crystals that are in the candles. That doesn't um do it for me. Dream shop. Let me go and find the deal that Zeke did earlier.
The dream shop deal I offered was if you buy the core drill, high speed sphere machine, low speed sphere machine, Everclean tank, like everything that I would have bought for when I started. And if you get all of it at regular price, then what I'll do is if you're in the US, well, maybe even parts of Canada. I don't know. We'll have to look at that. Um, I'll come set it up I'll come help you set it up and run it, teach you how to run it. Or you can come visit us here at the warehouse and I'll have Sherman pay for your ticket if you're in the US to come hang out with us and teach you how to use it here.
Oh man, I have to look at this core.
This one I drilled a little too far into the plaster and it came out. So what I'm doing is pushing it up and trying to get it to drop down enough that I can pull it out. If this happens and you can't pull the core out, then you take the core bit off and you pop it out with like a dowel.
Oh my Lanta.
That is gonna just glow. See, this is another one that's gonna look fantastic on a light stand.
Yeah, I can't get over this material truly.
Oh, I could sit and drool on this one for hours. That is gonna be such a great ball. I think we were a little longer on that one. What was the time on that core?
5 minutes, 55 seconds.
Oh, okay, that's not bad at all. And then you just take a hammer and whack all that plaster off. And then you got some good cabin material. Are you guys enjoying watching these cores plunk out?
Zeke, what do you think they're gonna think of this rack that we picked out for him?
Oh gosh. Man, I don't know about that rack.
They might not like it. I don't know.
We got that Rosetta lace next. Now the Rosetta lace, even though I'm gonna core it today, we're not gonna finish this core. We're gonna do another cut and chat, and I'm gonna finish this one with milk and diamond to get that really glossy look. Oh, gotta turn
Oh
down our
yeah.
bit speed a little bit.
Yeah, Tony, we will. Zeke. Well, Zeke's offering up a pretty damn good deal of a sphere shop. Lizelle, you're faster than me. Can you throw that in the chat again? Because I keep losing it. Thank you. You got either core drill, the HSSM, the LSSM, any accessories or whatever. This one, it's not going to have a discount on it, but you can get a trip out here. These are Zeke's words,
And
not mine. Paid for by Sherman to get exclusive hands-on experience with Zeke, or Zeke can fly out to you and help you set up your dream shop at the house or wherever you will be.
workshop or whatever.
Workshop.
If it was me, I would get your machine set up, get like the rigging done, and get like the core drill on this base or stood up, depending on which one you buy. And then I'd have me come out because I can't really help with that part. And then I can help you run it. But you're also, if you want to come hang out at the warehouse and meet everybody, you can always come here. You do get Jordan if you come out to the warehouse.
Oh, Lizelle. Boo. No, I'm just kidding. That's okay. You have to come out here. For those of you that have visited here, put it in the chat. Oh, the blade alignment kit that we have. Yeah, we have those, Vicky. For those of you that have visited, have you had a good time or would you not recommend?
Would you not recommend?
Because I see a couple awesome faces in here that have been here before. John, Vicky, Jen, Amy,
Well, if you come here too, you also got to dig through the rocks. So,
and Bo. Hi, Bo.
oh, I'm so excited for this core. I think this might be my favorite one yet. Oh my God.
What is that? The
That's the Rosetta lace.
Oh,
Holy crap. Now, again, this is a piece we offered up on the live event. This is one we showed a couple weeks ago. And I was like, nobody's grabbing that. I'm like, man, I'm going to make a ball out of that.
right, Amy?
Oh, that is awesome. Oh, holy crap, that's a good piece.
Amanda, you can come hang out with me.
You guys always can come visit. It's just not going to be on Sherman's dime.
That would make some sick coasters, Zeke.
Oh God. That's still gonna have some killer cabbing pieces in there.
Oh, boo. The only time people aren't here is usually between the hours of um 2:30, actually no, 3 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Well, even sometimes I'm here those hours.
Yeah, but generally, secret.
Generally, you're so funny. That's true. Generally, I'm not here those hours.
I
All
know.
right, we'll do just a couple more cores and then we'll go do our cross drilling. I'm just having so much fun plunking out these cores. Such awesome material. And by the way, Sherman does not know about this deal that I offered, so don't message him about it. He'll be
Hmm.
like, dude, how long were we on that last core, by the way?
Thanks, Lizelle. Lizelle didn't time it because she was snitching on you to Sherman.
Oh, Lizelle. Well, that had to be one of the fastest ones yet.
Nope, so we don't clamp these. So what Zeke does is for these ones that we're doing right now, he's set in the casting plaster, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yep, so he will set it in that so it'll be sturdy enough to drill, but you'll get pieces that are flat enough and won't wobble, so you can just lay them flat on that deck. And if they do wobble, then you can hold it in place with the wooden dowel or put little chips of plaster underneath to hold it.
This is a piece of Cherry Creek, by the way. When we did Tote Night, we showed this one and it didn't have any windows on it, so everybody's kind of like, man. But I have a good feeling about this piece. And if you guys don't want that Dream Shop deal that we offered, then Lizelle did offer 7% off of the machines for spear making.
It's all.
Oh,
All.
oh. This
It's
is a
all
hard
all.
piece. You just feel the drill as it's cutting. Like you can tell that this was a lot harder than that last piece. That Rosetta Lace is definitely my favorite one so far. Oh, move the camera a little bit so you guys are looking more center screen.
I have a question. For those of you that are making the spheres with the sphere machine or whatnot, sounds good, Ken. I'll tell them to look out. Oh my Lanza, what was I just saying? Oh, for those of you that are making the spheres, what's the standard size you're with right now? And then my follow-up question would be, what size do you want to do next?
Well, the spheres that I'm most excited about finishing next would be the 8-inch ones because I have a few really killer 8-inch cores done, and I've not got jigs set up yet for those 8-inch ones, or the I haven't finished setting up the hydraulic machine.
This is not a new material. This is Cherry Creek that you're still on, correct?
Yep, this is Cherry Creek. In fact, we did tote style out of the bin the other day, and this was one of the pieces that nobody grabbed because it didn't have a window on it.
The Addis. I'm confused. Oh, the other core he was excited about, the Rosetta lace. I think
Yeah,
he
that
showed that right
Rosetta
before
lace
you
is
got
killer.
on.
Oh, here, I can grab that. This is that Rosetta lace core.
Yeah, it's an impressive piece, huh? When are you planning on selling the drops, Zeke?
Yeah, we'll sell the drops. We got to clean them up and we'll weigh them out and we'll sell them tomorrow night. Although there's a couple that I think are going to get another core through them. The
How
Rosetta
much
lace is
would
not big enough for core.
how much would something like that cost? The Rosetta core? You're very welcome, David, anytime. On the Rosetta or the one that he's doing now, Carl? On the Rosetta Z, can you snag 2 balls out of that?
No, it's not long enough to do too. Oh, man, this is a cool piece of Cherry Creek. Look at that blue, green, and you got the red and yellows whooshing through it. And I cut so close to the edge, we still got a little bit of um matrixy outside edge right there.
Which one are you waiting on, David?
That is probably going to be the display face of that one right there. That's an awesome core.
That's funny, James. Let me see
That's actually a
those.
hilarious idea. We could do like a post every day. I told you this was a good piece post. Would have to follow that up though with the pieces where I'm like, well, I thought this was going to be a good one, but it's not. But I'd say more often than not, they do turn out pretty good when I say they're going to cut pretty good.
No, the CB6 conversion kits are still going to be a little bit.
All right, I got one more plastered. That's that island agate.
Those blades came in today. It's probably going to be a little bit to get them packaged and into inventory. Um, Probably by the
Maybe a
end of next
week.
week. Yeah, maybe a week. End of next week. Beginning of the next. Nice island agate.
All right, and you can see this fracture run right here. We got a little bit of quartz right there. So we're going to come between the quartz and the fracture in the bit.
You're welcome. And yes, the same on the wet belt sander conversion kit as well. Oh, we just had a bunch of grit come in today. Which grit are you waiting on, David?
All right, let's see how this island agate turns out.
We have a couple containers of grit coming. I know people are waiting on like 600, I think 6090.
Yeah, people always need like 6090. That's a very popular grit because
Yeah,
people go through a lot of it.
we flew through
Speaking
that
of that,
600 grit.
Speaking of that, Jordan, you want to check and see if we got any tumble roughers that aren't sold?
Yes.
Because I know we had a bunch come in today, but I don't know how many are sold.
Um, Stuart, do you want to send me an email? I'll put it in the chat of which spirit cups you're looking for. And then there's my email. And then you said tumble rougher, Zeke. Nice. We got 8 available of those tumble roughers, Zeke. AJ, are you in here? He is.
Oh man, I'm like, do we drill a couple more? Do we move on to the cross drilling? I'm looking at the pile of rock I still got here, like, oh, I could drill a few more of those. Okay, everybody's done with the drilling of the cores. We're ready to move on to the cross drilling.
Zeke ate your half of the candy bar. I really tried to restrain myself and make it to 9 o'clock, but
Oh, boo.
you still have your Reese's. I actually,
Oh, thank
no,
you.
here. Take the last
Oh, the cookies
quarter.
and cream, that's okay. I don't like cookies and cream.
Oh, perfect. It was meant to be. Cookies and cream Hershey bar.
Yeah, after this core, we'll move on to do some cross drilling. I was like, well, maybe we'll do some tote tonight, but then I'm like, oh man, we're having a lot of fun making spheres.
Oh, I've done that before, Jason. So good. All
You
right,
know what you
Michael,
should
I'll
do,
check.
Jordan?
What should I do, Zeke?
You should show them these pieces that you put on the rack while
Mm,
we finish up this core.
like spray them down and whatnot? I will.
Yeah, you can take the camera while this core finishes.
Lovely. All right, Michael, I'll look. We had a container and we're doing inventory of the entire warehouse right now, so makes for a very big bunch of busy bees. But I'll put them in the thing and get them to Zeke.
I'm really excited about this island agate.
Oh, that's
People
good,
get to
Michael.
ask me about island agate spheres, so I was like, man, we gotta do one. That is a killer island agate. Now this one we do the cross drill, I'll line it up as close to that face as possible. That's gonna be a nice ball. Yeah, that is gonna be an expensive sphere. Awesome. All right. Let's do some cross cuts.
Ooh, I didn't really get to see these. Oh, no.
Yeah, you got all the beautiful
Oh.
rocks in there. All right, so on these pieces, the inside of the bit is going to line up when this pin is moved all the way over to this notch. So I have it out of the way over here in this slot. That's just like a holder for it. We want to cut two out of this one. We're all going to do one tonight, but we want to cut two out of this one. So we're going to line it up. Let me bring down the head on this. So that we got plenty of room to cut two out of this. And this first cut here will give us a pillow shape. All right, you can see just right on the edge there. So that's perfect. And because I don't have a fancy splash guard for this one at the moment, I got a lovely cardboard box that I'm going to stick in here. And this will prevent the oil from spraying on the front there. Oh, you can time this, Lizelle. See how long it takes us. I like having the times. I did not sharpen this bit before we started. This is a brand new bit. You can hear it's making a different sound. Well, you guys can't hear it's making a different sound. I can hear it's making a different sound. And it definitely needs to be sharpened. Yep, same setup with the Everclean. So on this, we have an Everclean tank. So this pipe right here is draining the oil back into the Everclean tank. Then there's hoses that with a couple pumps that send the oil down through the middle of the bit and spray on the side of the bit. And then it recirculates through the Everclean there to clean the oil. So we're getting fresh oil all the time. Well, and we do a lot of cutting at this thing. So it's because uh, Everclean does such a good job keeping this clean. And on these, because they're only going to be 2-inch spheres, we're only going to do 3 cuts. If you're doing anything bigger than 2-inch, you do 5 cuts. And if you're doing anything bigger than like 6 inches, you would do like 7 or 9 cuts with the core drill.
How often are you checking the Everclean can on this bad boy?
When I'm cutting, because we produce so much mud with this machine, I check it about every hour, or maybe every 2, depending on what I'm cutting. But the more mud I'm producing, the bigger bit I'm using, the more often I'm checking it.
Does the Everclean make a difference now when the can is full? Yes, Peter, it is.
It doesn't make a sound, you just gotta check it. Usually I can tell when it's on this machine when it's full because the oil starts to look a little dirtier and I'm like, oh, it's time to check. And when the wings start to fall off this, the ears, then we know we were done on this drill, this cut. So I'll wait till, oh, there we go. The back one just fell off. And we're right there to where the other one's about to fall off. Then I can pull the core out of here, pop that off. So there's our pillow shape. And that's pretty close. Our jig is not quite aligned. You can see how it's rolled across this face and not across this face as much. It's because we need to move the jig back just a little bit. But I'm not going to worry about it right now because that's good enough. So now what we'll do is I'll take and stick the core back in here, but I'm going to use our locating pin that move it over and I'll push it down. And when John teaches people how to use this, he'll start the cut and then move the pin. I am confident enough with how tight this jig is that I'm not going to leave the pin there. If you cut through the tip of the pin, you got to reset your jig up. I mean, those are the same thing. When those ears start to fall off, we're going to stop the drill. Yes, the jigs are sized to match the bit. So if you buy a 2-inch core bit, you're going to buy a 2-inch jig, and those will coordinate to the same size.
Zeke,
Yes.
is there anything in the works for a sphere jig for the Precision 12?
I've asked John about it, but he has not come up with anything yet at least not anything yet that he's told me about. John has a lot of projects, so if he does build something, it's probably not going to be very soon. Hey, Jordan, would you grab me a bin with the oil absorbent in it? Just a little bin.
Little, like a lot bin?
Yeah, just so I can put these
Yes.
preforms in it.
Yep.
All right, as soon as those wings start to fall off, or what John calls the ears, then we'll hit the e-stop and yep, see there's one, and the longer you wait, the more dangerous it is. But I like to wait till they all fall off and then hit the e-stop. We're very close on that one.
Steakery, if I find one more paper towel, I'm gonna lose my mind.
See, I stopped the bit right as we close that one. And the downside to that is if you wait too long, then your uh, core gets stuck in the thing there. So there you go. That's as preformed as we do for the 2-inch. And we really got to fix this jig. This jig is way off. See how big those faces are? These should come to like a perfect X. We're going to lose size on those spheres because the jig is so off. So less than 10 minutes, we have a, that was start to finish. That was less than 10 minutes, I believe. Because this one, I think it took 8 minutes to do that core, and we only used half of it. So you're like 4 minutes, then 3.5, then 2. Let's see this one. We'll stick in there about there.
And I'm sorry, now that I'm looking at the screen, can you explain what was wrong with the jig again?
The jig is not centered perfectly under the bit, so it's causing it to be off-centered on the preform. Instead of having a nice X, you can see the curved cut of the bit. And if it was perfectly preformed, then you'd see an X on each face. I'll show you on the next one because they're going to be off on all of these.
Yeah, the cordials are beasts. I love it. Are there fine adjustment screws for the jig to center it perfectly?
It's not so much a fine adjustment screw as you just lightly, you can see this bolt back here. You would just loosen that just a little bit and then tap it with the hammer to adjust it. You can use a dial indicator or a set of calipers to do it. I usually just eyeball it, and then the first couple that you cut are usually off, and then you get it dialed in so that it's perfect. And once you get it in perfect, then you just tighten it down and you never touch it.
How much is this core drill after 7%? Lizelle, do you have those numbers?
Yeah, get the numbers for the CD4 and the CD1. The CD1 is a good amount more. It's a much bigger drill. It's more designed for like a production shop, which is what John built it for. The CD4 is more the hobby small shop drill.
So after that 7% off, normally it's 10,997. Tonight it's 10,227 for the CD4.
Oh man, that's tight in there.
Then the large core drill. Let's see.
All right, so on the cut here, if you look at these lines, these ridges right here, they should come to almost a perfect X. Like that's really close right there. That's not bad. But the other direction was way off, and you can see it's a little bit more off on this side, where you can see the curve of the bit there. It's not a perfect X. So this bit was sitting there this way, which means it's too far back because it's cutting across this. The curve is this direction. So the jig needs to be tapped forward just a little bit.
And then the CD1, which is the machine that Zeke's on right now, it's the bigger core drill. Normally that machine is 23,997. After the 7% off, it is $22,317.21.
Did we get a time on that?
No.
Yeah, okay. We're probably gonna be pretty close to I'd say we're gonna be close to um 10 to 15 minutes on each one.
Did you touch upon sharpening the bit or whatever, like how why it sounds like that?
You don't sharpen the bit often on the core drill, because the mud helps it should keep it sharp, but you sharpen it the same way a blade.
Okay.
But on the core bits when they're brand new, I usually take a file and clean up a little bit and then sharpen them for the first use. I didn't do it on this one and it sounded weird for the first cut.
Do you have that pink crinoid to show after?
That's a really
Thank
good piece of pink crinoid.
thank you, Lizelle. Did you guys want me to show you anything else? Some more island agates. I grabbed a killer chunk of Andromeda. I have some more leopard skin.
You guys can look at more stuff while I do the cross drilling. It's going to be the same for each piece right here. And come check back. So totally up to you.
I didn't show any leopard skin. Zeke was excited to take you guys for the cross drilling. Are you gonna adjust the jig, Zeke?
No, these are close enough that I'm not going to adjust it tonight. I have a video on how to set up the jig, which is actually a lot better if you get a core drill. It's better to watch the video. But that's also why it's good if you buy the Dream Shop and have me help you set it up or come help set it up, is I can show you how to do it so that you're not frustrated with your jigs. As I didn't even realize how far mine were off until John showed me how to do it. But I do have a video showing how to set up your jigs. And that's probably the hardest part of the core drill, setting up your jigs. But you really only do it once, and then they last for a very long time.
Ooh.
It's actually the part that's off the most is this direction. You can see it cut way too far this direction. I tapped it too much with the hammer, and so we cut too far on this side. So on the next one, I'll move it over just a little bit this direction. And then from these pieces here, the next step will be taking over to the cab machine and grinding these corners off. And then they'll be ready to go into the sphere machine. But I don't know how we were along on that, but that was another, not bad for knocking out a sphere. One like this, where it's so close, we'll take and put our jig piece over right there to help us line it up so that we don't accidentally cut it too short. Check this, make sure that we're on. Yeah, that one's just barely big enough. Let me tap this one over just a hair.
When will this stuff be sold, Zeke?
The cutoffs?
The cutoffs, Jessica? The spheres.
That is a good question.
I want that blue Chalcedony one badly. So that probably will not be sold. I will probably buy that.
Maybe we'll sell these Monday.
Spheres or cores? The spheres on Monday. Are we gonna sell any cores, Zeke?
We really need to drill some spheres for people.
Yeah.
This show on the night. We'll try to get some spheres done or some cores done for you guys for tomorrow night. Any requests on material? Cool stuff. All right, I like it.
Dual light, blue Sydney, man. I'm obsessed. Are you good if I take them for a
Oh,
minute?
that big piece of blue calcite on the table there,
Yeah.
that's select. Go weigh that up and offer that up.
Okay. That's gonna be a
That piece is
freaking
killer.
amazing piece. Holy crap. I want you to show me how to drill that if it doesn't sell, because that's insane color.
Yeah, the little pieces that fall off are good for making cabs. So we'll throw those in some bins and sell the rough, like the cutoff pieces that are still rough. We'll sell those tomorrow night.
I do have some. I grabbed some #1 large island agates for you guys. Can I come take them?
Yeah, you can take them for a minute. Oh, good timing. You put it back where it was. I just finished the bumblebee. That one went wicked fast. That's going to be a really cool ball. That one was probably closer to 8 minutes for the whole thing. Let's see. Let's do this blue Cal Sydney one next. Oh, that's just such a good ball. All right. Check, make sure we look good right there. I think I'm going to tap that one over just a hair. All right, let's fire it up. You don't really need the calipers to get it centered. Once you get the jig dialed in, then the jig is good to go. You can use you use calipers when you're dialing in your jig. Um, but it also doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be really close. And you see we're sinking through that blue Sydney pretty quick. Tonight, I'm not going to finish the Cherry Creek and the Rosetta Lace because they won't take a really good polish without the milk and diamond. So after this one, we'll do that island agate, and then we'll move to the next step in the process. Usually you get contamination from like little pockets in the rock, or you didn't clean it off good enough. You get grit or debris, or you spray water in there that's not clean, or your whatever your water source is dirty. And when you're polishing, you get little swirl marks or scratches from the contamination. So you want to make sure that you're keeping a really clean process as you go through. That's why I wash the sphere cups. We actually just ran water lines to make sure that we got fresh water to our sphere machines and cab machines.
Stanley, I love it.
Yeah, all those little pieces, all those little corners, they make great little cabs. Tomorrow night, we're going to do some bins of those and sell those little pieces.
Is well water no good?
If well water's probably fine. But it's possible if you're doing soft material that you'll get some mineral deposits in there that are going to cause little swirl marks. So you could throw a little filter, a system on there, but odds are you're probably going to be fine using well water.
Hi, Angela. Why not oil? For Oh, he's
For
talking
polishing,
for the he's talking for the polishing mark. Right now he's working with oil.
yeah, this is oil on the machine right now. You would never use oil for polishing. It'd be too slippery of a surface, and you don't want your piece to be all covered in oil. It'd be very messy to do it with oil. I was getting chatting so much I forgot I was cutting a piece here.
Yeah, don't mess up that piece, dude.
Jordan will be very sad if when this one goes.
I will be. You already know.
Oh, that's gonna be such a good ball.
Oh, baby, I like that.
And then this one, I'm gonna do a little trick here because I know it's cutting a little too much off this side. I'm gonna flip it over like this, and that way we'll cut more of this matrix off than the blue agate. So sometimes you can use the that to your advantage. Not that it's ideal, but since it is, we're gonna make the best of it. You guys can see the first cut is definitely your longest cut because you got to get through all that rock. Once you get through all that rock, doing these cuts go pretty quick. We've already got 4 finished, and this is the last cut for our 5th one. Oh, duh, I had that backwards. Whoops. Okay, we'll wind up with a little matrix in this one. That's okay. It cuts more off the other way, that way I have it right now.
Are you new here?
Yes.
I know, a wicked rookie. Sergeant says. Zeke made sure to send me that new name right away last night.
I did. Sergeant Sassy is hilarious.
So between that and Boss Lady, that's all I've heard all day.
Hey, boss lady.
I'm like, hey, you want to pick up the paper towels that are on the floor? Or I've been telling him, actually, no, this morning I was like, oh no, that's okay, Jeffrey, I don't care. I was like, Zeke, write that down. Like, you spewing off great ideas and like, I love it. But I'm like, I was pointing to the paper, I'm like, write it down. He goes, okay, boss lady. I'm like, ooh,
I didn't say it like that. I said, okay, boss lady.
okay. Well, because Brian started the boss lady thing actually.
Yeah, I should have flipped it over that way. That's fine. That's going to be such a beautiful sphere. You gotta see how much more it just glows from the change in shape. When it's polished, it'll really glow. All right, this will be the last one. for tonight on the cross drilling.
Any questions so far? Yes, Lizelle, good question. You guys have any material you want to see? I grabbed 3 more killer island agates. That last one that Zeke just showed was Blue Cal Sydney from Turkey. You're welcome. Oh, Turkish chick. Thank you, Jen. Tomorrow, Zekery. Is the power switch the only safety other than unplugging it?
No, so there is a switch that shuts off the whole system. There's this switch here that shuts everything off. There's this e-stop for everything, and then there's this e-stop for the bit. So you could actually, and this actually comes out, so you could turn this off and take it out like a key. Well, I finished up this last one. Do you want to show those island agates, Jordan?
Yeah, I'm grabbing a little cool little treat. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Right out of your pile.
Hey.
I'm kidding. Relax. I can feel you already snapping your neck looking at me.
Yeah, it was. Yes,
Yeah,
this is 220. Oh, and I didn't mention, but these also have plugs on here for your cord, for your pump. That plug is 220 though, so you can't run the Everclean on that pump unless you special ordered a 220 Everclean. Well, I'm curious actually, because you guys, we did spearing last cut and chat. Do you guys want to see those balls finished out or on the spear machines? Or do you want to do tote style and we can run the spheres during the contest next week? All right, we can do that.
may I take them?
Yes.
I grabbed a couple pieces of Turkish chick and some awesome island agates.
Oh wow, actually we got 9 cores done and 6 pre-formed out, ready to go. So these we're gonna take over to the cab machine and we'll get them ready to go in the sphere machine. Yeah, we'll get these at least started. See how long it takes. It's 9:42. We'll see how fast we can get these done, and then if we're not, I'll say by 10:30. If we don't have them finished, then we'll go over and do tow and finish these next week.
Am I taking them over to you?
Yeah, I gotta turn on. Oh, sorry, to show the camera right here.
Oop, I'm coming. Hold on. Do you have to tighten that so much?
All right. So we have this main water line running across the back of the shop here. And we have an 8mm line coming up and over and going down across. And it's split to all the different machines that use water over here. So if I turn on that valve, all like the cab machine, the wet belt sander, the water drop saw, they all have water. And I ordered a spray system so that we'll have a way to clean the machines down as well. So I'll just turn this on. We don't need it full blast, but I'll turn that on a little bit. And then, oh, come over here, show this.
I'm coming. He's on a mission.
All right. So if you look at this, we have the drop saw set up over there. And feeds down right here and drains out. And then I got the cab machines all set up to drain out the back here. And I didn't plumb them hard in. They're just the hose is just stuck in each one of these ports. That way we can take it out and clean it if need be, or we can just pop the end cap off here and flush the system out. But I'm really excited about that because it makes it really easy to clean these now.
He did a very good job. It was terrifying watching him up on the scissor lift, but
Well, apparently a bunch of these valves got left open.
are you using the CB8V?
Yes.
Okay, turn that on.
All right, let me grab an apron, and I'd like that chair if it's available.
Yes,
Where-
you may have it.
Thank you.
You're
Where is
welcome.
it?
The green one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right here.
And then we also did the same thing for the sphere machines. We ran another water line up and around that runs the production trim saw and all three, the hydraulic machine and both high-speed machines. You can tell I have way too much water pressure on these valves, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit. We have that water supply where it comes off of like a 2-inch main water line. So you don't need to open the valve like crazy. I need to make sure everybody knows not to like full blast open that and kill it. Probably should put a reducer on it.
You need to put a sign over there.
I do.
Or you
All
need to tell
right.
me what you want on it and I'll make it.
That's more accurate.
Um, let me read these off. Zeke, there's a couple questions for you.
Boop.
I do too. I love
That's a
when
lot
you
of
guys I love when the Highland Park team members comment in the chat. Zeke, have you ever doubled up on a
whoops.
cabbing? Have you ever doubled up on a cabbing wheel to get a wider working surface?
Yes, I have.
And then Angela's asking, what's the difference between the 230 versus 110-volt wet grinders besides the voltage?
Just the voltage.
Lizelle is freaking awesome. It was so funny. I was on the phone with Lizelle this morning when I got into the warehouse helping her with a couple pending stuff, but Sherman came over and was standing over me behind me. And then I got off the phone. I was like, okay, Lizelle, thank you so much. Bye. And then I got off the phone. He was like, isn't it awesome to have her here? I was like, yes, she makes my life so easy. And she has a lot of freaking knowledge. So if you guys ever have any questions too, Lizelle is wicked responsive and so willing to help any of you. Absolutely adore her.
All right, so what we're doing right now, you can see I ground this smooth around the edge there. This is what it looks like at the moment, this point. And then I'll go back around and do these points, and then it'll be ready to go in the sphere machine.
Which sphere that Zeke has cored are you guys most excited to see?
At least of these 6.
Yeah, the island. What
That
size
island agate is
cups?
wicked cool.
What size cups are you using for the 2-inch spheres, Zeke?
Uh, if I was gonna buy a set, I would probably get the 1 and 9/16 inch. Although I think what we're using tonight is 1 and 3/4.
Team, Stacy Flynn needs a link, please, to get in here.
And by the way, what I'm doing this on is a centered wheel. So it's gonna last a long time. You can do a lot of balls like this on a centered wheel. Plated wheel, you're gonna wear out pretty fast doing spheres like this.
Thanks, Kimmy.
Yes, we need a pressure gauge, not just a valve. All right. So that side right there, that is round enough to go into the sphere machine now. Make sure we got all of our edges down. I'll flip it over, repeat the process.
What I have a question for you guys. What's one material that you want to see more of on the live events?
Oh, that's a great question.
Well, if we had Moonstone, I'm sure we would show it, but John's working. I'm sure John can work to get some more Thulite. Lake Superiors. Ooh, green moss is another really good one. That would have been a good one to do a ball out of.
Oh yeah, what else? Oh, someone just gifted me a really nice Montana that we got to shoot a video on making the ball out of. Oh, the Katy Mountain moss is one I really want to do a ball out
Yes.
of.
I love the Pastel Bricia, Jeff. Good taste. Pastel Bricia was the first one that I did a ball out of. Why did you not do cuts 4 and 5 on the drill?
Because these are little spheres. Anything 2 inch and smaller, we don't do 4 and 5 on because it's your likelihood of breaking the bit is high enough that it's faster to just grind them off. If this was even just a 2.5 inch bit, I would have done all the cuts.
Are you going anywhere
All
fun,
right.
Jeff?
You can see we got all of our big corners ground off and then repeat our cycle, go around and do the smaller ones. This is probably and the island egg are probably gonna be the hardest ones to grind. This pure chalcedony is very hard. I like to start with the ones that are going to take the longest because if you wait till the end, it's like, oh, I just want to be done. If you do the hard ones first, and it's like, oh, this is going fast.
Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, Jeffrey, do you like driving the 4,000 miles? Some weeks I'm like, yeah, I would enjoy doing that, no brainer. And then some weeks I'm like, absolutely not. Oh, well, that's good.
I want to do a long road trip. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Stacy's in here, Kurt. Got her hooked up with a link.
All right, that looks decent. Let's grab our next one. Let's do this pink crinoid.
Stuart, where did you go? I have to know. Oh, that's a pretty good mix. I like that. Non-sphere related question. What does Shattuckite look like? Zeke, can you describe that?
Shattuckite is a kind of azure blue, dark, rich color, copper mineral, related to, well, azurite and chrysocolla. And it just so happens where John got another batch, so we will have some very soon. You guys like that last stuff so much, he went on the hunt for more.
I love that they do that. You know what I mean?
Go find more.
Yeah, but what awesome people, you know what I mean? Like they could be like, "No, well, I got you your one round." Like, you know, it's really nice
Oh
that they'll
yeah.
go the extra mile to make you guys happy. Is it from the same location, Zikri?
Yes. It is just as good as that last batch from what I've seen.
I'm still dying to go out to Green Bay.
We really need to replace the felt on this machine. You guys can see how much faster this is grinding though versus that blue chalcedony. See, this is the part of the process where I'm like, oh gosh, I want to do soft material. Well, Jonah, I think there's a piece of Shattuckite on the shelf over there, actually. You want to go see if you can find it?
Yeah, I found it, and I also I just sent Stacy a photo.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to offer it up?
We
Or did you
can.
just sell it?
Anyone? Huh?
I said, did you sell it or you want to offer it up?
We can offer it up. I just sent her an example image. Oh, Stuart, that sounds like a lot of fun. Christmas for you. Stuart had 8 boxes show up that he
Oh,
just came home
that
to.
is like Christmas.
Ooh, there's a massive piece of Shattuckite right here. Can you see me?
No. Are you looking at the
Look at
that one's
this.
more Chrysocolla than Azure than Shattuckite. But you could offer that piece. That's a cool piece. Make a great ball
It's
rock.
wicked heavy. Let
Here, come
me.
put it on the table here. You can
Oh,
offer
my
it up.
Lanta. I'm coming.
Teasing the poor people.
I know I'm gonna have to do a countrywide trip to do the saw cleaning. Zikri, what's the grit right now?
This is 80 grit. Although if I was gonna buy a dedicated wheel for this, I would get a 60 grit.
I'm coming back. I'm just going to find that other piece.
Oh, no worries.
I love Jaden. He got all of this done.
No, did he really?
What an awesome freaking kid. I love him to death.
Oh, earlier I thought Jordan was gonna die of happiness. Jaden said he gave an answer, and Jordan was like, "That's exactly what I would do." I was like, "Well, that is the correct answer then."
Yeah, I almost fainted. I was like, oh my gosh, you're not listening to Zeke sometimes. Thank you.
All right, there's another one ready to go in the sphere machine. Not
I'm like,
listening to
Zeke,
Zeke.
no, yeah, I said mostly. And if you let me continue what I was saying, I was gonna be extra nice, but no, I'm not in the mood. Thank you. My Atlanta. No, Zeke does know his crap very well. And I will give it to him. He's a lot more humble than he used to be, so man, I can't find that piece.
That's funny, Stacy.
May I take that phone from you, please?
And this is a island agate that I'm working on right now. Be an awesome sphere. What time we got, Jordan?
It is 10:04. The previous one that you were working on, Zeke, was that the I forget.
Pink crinoid.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mel.
That is just such great color. Again, another piece we offered up on the live event that nobody grabbed.
Right now he's on 80. His preferred wheel, if he had it, would be a 60.
Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody's grabbing it. Like I just like it blows my mind sometimes. But that's why we do the cut and chats, is so that you guys can see, like, oh, that's a killer piece. Like nobody even bid on this one, and you can see like now that it's cut, everybody wants that sphere. I'll tell you what, having a core drill is better than having a big saw when it comes to processing stuff. This one unfortunately has a crack running through it. That's making me worried about it in a couple spots. Hey, Terry.
Let me. One of the island agates I received Tuesday has gorgeous banding split into two pieces along one of the banded layers. What is a good glue to put it back together before I cut it?
I would, if I was gonna do that, I would use Easy Bond glue. Which is what I'm getting ready to do on this one. If it's looks like it's gonna separate. Well,
Oh
I had to
no.
exactly what I was afraid of.
That's kind of satisfying though.
How clean of a break that is.
Yeah, not that it happened, but
I'm actually tempted to finish the ball like that and leave this natural, but John, I think, would frown upon that. The crack is going to be pretty noticeable though if I finish it like this. You got the separation there. I don't know. I'm very tempted to finish the sphere like this and leave this natural peeled look to it.
I like that color. If it was like a boring color, I'd say boo, leave it.
Well, if it was a boring color, I wouldn't be sphering it.
No, I'm just saying underneath that layer, Zikri, my Lanta. You always have to have a comment. Mel, rare. I know if Brian were here right now, he'd be like, see, dude.
I'd rather have it break right now than in the sphere machine.
Oh, I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Oh, that is such a, it's still a really cool sphere. And I like that it's this smooth peeler band right there. This one I'll actually probably display like that. I'll have to tell John, I was like, oh darn, I'll have to keep this one since it's broken.
We do have some rough.
What time is it?
10-12.
Well, we're ripping through those preforms pretty good.
We'll go for a spin when we go over to the totes. Since we'll be over there anyways.
The Buena Vista show is this week. thought that was in September.
I think they're talking, what you're reading, they're talking about the Franklin show that you thought was in Franklin, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, that still throws me off. I just saw something about Buena Vista.
Yeah, there's something up there. Yeah, it's coming up in a couple weeks, Joel said.
No, I have family that's going to be at that show. I'd love to go to that one. I heard it hasn't been as good the last couple of years, but when I used to do it, it was one of my favorite shows to do as a vendor. Other than
That's
the wind,
awesome.
oh my God, the wind is horrible there. Every year, people's tents blow away.
Looks like the grind pattern is to do one hemisphere at a time, then the other.
Yes,
So
that's correct.
yeah, that's correct. Okay.
And then I start with the big corners and grind all of them down. And then I move to the next size down and grind all of them down. And then I go through and clean up any high points, fridges, things where I think the sphere cup will catch. But there you go, another one done. What time is it?
It is 10:16.
So that took 4 minutes.
Yep, we'll go for a spin when we go to the tote style. Zeke's almost wrapping up here.
This Vesuvianite ball is going to be awesome.
This is Vesuvianite from Indonesia. How long on average was it for you to hand cut that sphere, Zeke?
They took about an hour a piece. When I was using the production trim saw to shape it.
Stuart, that's so cool that you ran into them there.
Who did Stuart run into?
Stuart was in Minnesota, at an agate pit and ran into Mary and Melissa that came and visited us.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, Ed, you're near kind of where I'm. Is Greensboro near Greenville? A little bit north of Greenville or so. I know we're working on merch.
This stuff is very, like it builds up a nice mud layer. I should keep a sponge here.
Oh, Western Greenville.
It would really help if we changed the felt out on this. You can see it builds up this like slimy layer on it of the mud. I almost lose track of where I am. Let's see.
Man, I'm wicked dehydrated. I drank that whole Gatorade and I'm drinking two of these tall Smart Waters today.
I know, I'm looking forward to that watermelon.
Oh, you didn't eat that before?
I had some of it.
Ooh, Liz, I was talking about rice earlier.
Man, I'm really hungry. You said rice, and I instantly became hungry.
Oh, yeah, I should have eaten dinner. Once again, Zikri was right.
Shocker. That
Okay.
you should have
Nope.
eaten dinner.
Now
That you
you're
should have
wrong.
eaten
Nope,
dinner is
now
what
you're
I was
wrong.
saying.
Nope, you know
Shocker
what?
too.
Nope, you ruined it. Yeah. Nope. Can't
I was
have a
saying shocker to
freaking
you needing to eat dinner.
sure. Wipe that crap eating grin off your face and focus on grinding the stone, would you?
Yes, I would be wearing a mask, and I actually like to wear rubber gloves when I do this too. But I have yet to find a good respirator that uh accommodates the microphone. But usually,
Oh,
if I
Ed.
was doing this here, like on a Sunday, I'd wear a respirator and I'd sit here and do this for like all day long. I'd sit and grind spheres out.
Ooh, Zeke, do you have any brisket left?
I do at home.
Like a lot?
Well, I mean, it was only a 3 pound brisket, so there was no such thing as a lot. But yes, there's plenty if you want some.
Yes. Oh yeah, I don't like Snickers. I'll take a Twix though.
All right, outside is ready. This one's taking longer just because of how muddy it gets. I didn't really notice it before when I made the cab out of it, but this one definitely builds up more mud.
Ed, Zeke would love that comment.
What?
He said Jordan should never eat a Snickers bar. It might permanently neutralize Sergeant Sass. We wouldn't want that. Wouldn't want that
No,
now, would we?
we would not.
Oh, Ed.
Ooh, milk does sound good.
What sounds good?
I just saw a comment that said milk duds, and I was like, I want milk duds. You can see why I didn't plumb those hoses in permanently because there's so much mud building up in the tray that it'll make it easier to clean out. This is definitely when I think I screwed up the most with the jig being off. All right, another one ready to go. We're to our last one. What time is it?
It is 10:25. You got 5 minutes. Or is this your last one?
This is the last one. Four of these are ready to go in the sphere machine.
So for the spin, guys, for the Wheel of Fortune giveaway, we do our best to do it on an hourly basis. Wanted to our way of thanking everybody to stay here with us, having fun with us. But sometimes there's a couple of minutes delay, like especially this time right now that we're doing this. We don't want you to miss this process, so bear with us. And for this one, we're going to be doing two spins after this, okay? So thank you so much for bearing with us.
Well, and the prerequisite that I've set for the cut and chats, I just hearing Lizelle talk there, is that we don't necessarily spin on the hour, but when it is convenient.
I know you get lost in the sauce.
What?
Exactly. Right, Amanda? I loved that Zeke was like, huh?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is this the Vesuvian Night? I'm blind, I can't see.
This is the Ruby's Oyster site.
Oh, Ruby's outside. Thank you. I'm in the zone too, thinking
Uh,
about dinner. Sorry.
I definitely get lost in the sphere cutting. I could sit here and do this all night. That would be fun. We could do an all night sphere event, I'll sit and finish all those personal projects I got set aside. On the flip side of that coin, that's when I'm like, man, somebody should be getting a drill and a sphere machine. Then you can have all kinds of fun. I don't know that I'd function properly without making spheres, but it really is like therapy. It is very relaxing to sit here and make these. I want a
I love
little off too. What, Jordan?
See, I would love doing this part of I don't mind this part of the process, but I get so mad that I miss my place on the sphere. Like it makes me so irritated.
All right, there we go. Those are all ready for the sphere machine. It is unfortunate this island agate broke, but I think it's still going to make an awesome sphere.
Oh, that Vesuvian and the Blue Cal Sydney. They're calling my name. Dude, I love the way that bumblebee looks like it has a belt on it.
It won't affect the process. It'll just take a little bit longer. I mean, I took all I did was adjust where I was grinding a little bit more in some places versus others. And now that it's ground in, it won't affect the process at all. It'll just take me 20 more seconds, 30 more seconds on the 80 grit cups.
Man, Zeke, you finished right on the dot.
Oh, I was pretty good at predicting this. I've done a lot of these. Sorry, I'm wandering around getting my apron and grabbing the preforms, and we're gonna run these on the high-speed machine. All right, now we need a couple bungee cords. You grab those preforms and bring them over here.
Oh, my Lanta. Yes, I'll be right over there.
Thank you, Jordan.
You're welcome. Here.
Thank you. We were actually cleaning this machine, so the heads are all out of whack. Move you guys out a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing. Then we'll get those spirit cups on there so we can get this evened out.
And then, Sarah, I shot you a message.
We want the heads to all be as level as possible. So now that it's close enough to get the preform in, I'm going to take these back till we're about level. And then we'll check, like we talked about last week, of lifting the head and making sure all of our cups are touching appropriately. What I'll do is I'll push back on them and make sure they're all lifting. And you can see now that we have that set up there, we're getting a nice little drip. Put my foot on the pedal so we don't throw the sphere. And we can start. You can see now that I'm using the right size sphere cups that we don't have the issue we were having last week of throwing the ball out.
This is a lot of fun.
And then what I'm doing when I lean on this is I'm using my elbow to push down on one hand and my other two hands to pull them in to correct the rotation of the sphere. Because what we want is a perfect X pattern. And I want mud to build up on the sphere. I just don't want it to dry. So a very light drip.
Patrick, I love the pattern in those Hyperstein cabs. Is he in here? Where'd he go? You're welcome.
Oh, see how it's building up mud? That's perfect. Just like that, because the mud is going to help it cut. It's going to help keep your cup sharp.
What
That's
diameter
exactly what
cups?
John would want to see. These are 1 3/4, I believe.
And then, can you apply pressure like that on the low speed?
Not as well, but yes. The low speed is cutting a lot slower, so it's not. It's not as easy to sit here and just push on it with the low speed. And you just plan on going slower when you're going to do the low speed anyway.
Did you guys have fun doing the sphere making series where it was 3 weeks just based around one kind of thing?
Hopefully that was helpful to give you guys more in-depth education on the sphere cutting.
That's awesome. We always love when you guys learn.
Well, that is the greatest part about lapidary is sharing. There's nothing that makes it more enjoyable than getting to share the hobby and have other people be successful. Because if we're all having fun, it's way more fun for everybody.
I know I got a bunch of notes down tonight. Very excited.
That's a perfect rotation too. See, John would be like, "Oh, dude, you're using too much water."
Oh, Lizelle, we love you. Lizelle is also very helpful in making sure me and Zeke are on track.
He is. All right, let's go rinse this off and see if we're round yet. And that was
Oh my, over my
less
over
than less than
good.
3 minutes.
Over my dead body high bid on this ball. Oh my.
Now, one thing to take note of is I'm going to rinse the sphere off, but the sphere is nice and warm. And so I don't want to shock the sphere and cause cracking. So I'm going to rinse it off with nice warm water, even though it's hot day and I don't really want to stick my hand in hot water. I don't want to rinse that off in cold water and shock the ball. You can see when we do it right, it goes significantly faster than last week because now we're perfectly round. Oh, that's going to be such a good ball. All right, let's grab the next one. Let's see about that island agate. This one's going to be a little bit more tricky because of the pattern there. Or the break. But because I'm using the right size cups, and it's moving pretty good in there, although that's a big bug to be running on this machine like this. And I'm keeping my foot on the pedal because if it catches that bug, I want to be able to step on it. Oh, yeah, set the timer again.
No, that's very true, Ed. Zeke and I were talking about that earlier, actually.
What?
Learning from mistakes that you make, even though you've been doing it a while.
Oh, yeah, if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying. I make mistakes all the time because I'm always pushing the limits of what the machines will do or what I think I can pull off or new things that I've never tried before.
Making mistakes, even though it makes me physically ill, I know they help me more than they hurt me most times. And I'm working on trying to make more. That's me and Sherman's goal with me. You should definitely try it out, Stacy. You guys have a stir machine, I'm assuming?
And remember, if you're doing something like this, you got to run longer on your 220 and 400. And get those edges cleaned up. But we're cleaning up this ball nicely, it looks like. Well, I didn't mean to teach you guys about making spheres of bugs, but it looks like we're doing it. All right. And more than likely now all our edges are chipped and beat up. That is okay. I'm gonna go wash this off again in warm water. I'm gonna turn our valve up. I think I closed the valve too much now. Oh, I got my apron hooked on the shaping machine. I'm like, help.
Order, order.
Just about had to have Jordan come help me. We
Oh,
actually
that
have
would
another
be
section of this
it,
agate peeling off.
that would not be good, Ed.
Well, it looks like we're around. The hard part's done. This one, I don't think I'm gonna finish until I put a little glue on it. Make sure that area doesn't pop off. So we'll have to finish this one next week. I'll put a little glue on it tonight. Oh, actually, I'll do it tomorrow after it completely dries. And then next week, I'll show that to you guys while we're doing it, because I'm afraid that one's going to break if we continue running it. This is the Vesuvianite. Definitely want to turn the water up a little bit for this one. This stuff fills up mud pretty good. Oh,
This
yeah,
material is awesome.
I'm really bad at setting the timer. There we go. I just set the timer.
Yeah, Lizelle has you
See,
mute on that, Zeke.
see how long it takes us to get round on this one. Too much water. I bet most of these 2-inch balls will be about a half hour finished. Because we were like 10 to 15 minutes for the preforms, then like 5 to 10 minutes for the grinding. And then we'll have probably an average time of 2 minutes a cup here. Oh, see how we're doing. Now, see, this one would be done if I hadn't screwed it up in the jig, because you got a couple little low spots there still.
Thanks, everybody.
A couple more spots. Yeah, that's actually from me grinding it down. We got a little low spot there. And what I should be doing is taking and marking these with a Sharpie so that I can see it while it's running. This one we're actually probably going to grind so that it's too small for these cups. It sure is mesmerizing. Like, I think about one of the most satisfying things in lapidary is to watch a sphere machine run. Like, I could sit and watch this for hours, just this machine spinning. Yeah, I'm gonna go rinse this one off and see how we're doing. What time is it, Jordan?
12:07.
Oh, okay. We definitely won't have time to finish these tonight, but we can at least get these grounded on step one here. Oh, this is another ball that I think you guys are gonna be blown away with when it finishes. All right, there we go. Rounded out, ready for the next step.
Oh my.
Can you see how roughed up they get doing this? Now let's throw the Ruby Zoisite in here next.
How many more you got after the zoisite?
I think two.
Nice.
All right, there you go. I just started the timer again. We were like probably about 5 minutes on that last one.
I know, Michael, right? Telling me. Thanks, Steve.
This one's gonna be so fast. That mud buildup helps the cutting because it makes it grind faster and keeps your cup sharp. Helps wear away the segments so that the diamond stays exposed. All right, let's see. That was about a minute and a half. We'll go rinse this one off and see how we did. As per still, even for being cut off a little bit, that's really fast. A minute and a half to get your preform in.
Z,
Yeah.
can you back the camera up next time you do the grinding to see how you press on the head?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize we were so zoomed in. All right, there we go. How's that view? Oh, and there's our ball, nice and round. That's going to be so nice finished. That's wicked fast, a minute and a half to round. I have to say I'm a little impressed. It always amazes me when I time these how fast they go. This is the pink crinoid stone. So I'm pushing down with my elbow, then pulling in, then pushing in with this hand. And what I'm doing is I'm making it go in an X pattern because you want the stone to move. Like when you're looking at is the stone to move like an X. And it's one of those concepts that's a little hard to understand until you actually do it. Oh, well, that looks like we just broke part of that sphere. And sometimes I let go of the sphere machine because I'm letting it run because I want to see how the ball moves in there without me pushing on it so that I can see how round it is. This one, I'm annoyed that we had a little piece of the sphere break out. Let me, yeah, so we were right at a minute on that one. Let me go wash it off and let's inspect it. See how bad that break is. Oh, this is going to be such a good ball. Man, we got to do some more of those pink crinoids. I think
Yeah.
that's one we should core some more of for tomorrow. Because that is going to be wicked cool. All right, you can see we chipped out right there. So let's run it a little bit longer. And with how fast this is grinding, I think we can just grind that right out. Although we're getting awfully close with our cups.
Thank you, John. Right, Michael? Or you should give brisket to the people that lasted this long.
We'll make that dream shop deal one step better. If you come for the dream shop deal, we'll cook you a brisket.
I'll be your bartender if you come here. Zeke can cook your brisket. I'll make the margaritas. Would you step down a cup size if they got any closer while spinning?
Oh yeah, they're already to the point where they're touching, so we'll just go to a sphere next size down on the sphere cups. We have a little bit there still, so I'll see how they look on the 220 grit cups, and if the 220 grit cups start touching, then we'll step it down a size. That's why it's nice to have a few different sizes. All right, let's do this bumblebee and then call it a night. And I'm gonna do extra water on this one because it's bumblebee and I'm not wearing a respirator. That just set the timer. See how long it takes us to get round on this one. I think it'll go pretty fast. Nice. My water stopped dripping. All right, let's go see. What were we? 30 seconds. Not quite round, but really close. Let me turn the water up just a hair though, because it stopped dripping. And I really don't want to be creating bumblebee dust.
Is a respirator recommended while this machine is running?
I would wear a respirator most of the time I'm doing lapidary. I really just don't wear that one that much because then it makes it really hard to do the cut chats. But like my toolbox, I have 2 respirators for myself that I wear when I'm just in here cutting. Like you only got one body, so take care of it. All right, let's go wash this off and see. But we probably had that in the sphere machine for 40 seconds.
Patrick, I thought you left. I'm not complaining that you're here, but I thought you said goodnight. Maybe I'm hallucinating.
Oh,
That's funny.
this is such a cool ball.
Patrick took a quick trip to outer space and came back. It's all right.
All right. There's the bumblebee ball. So they're all round now. And next week while we're doing the contest, we'll finish those. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. I had a blast sitting here coring rock and showing you guys. You want to throw the deals in the chat one more time, and then let's call it a night. Congratulations.
Slot 1048.
And then there's that island agate ball. I'm going to put a couple drops of glue on this one to help seal that. That's funny, Zachary.
That's so funny.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, everybody.